And good morning, peeps. What's going on? It's me, PDawg Knight. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep the New Year accoutrements up here, but it's kind of fun for now, and I kind of like the setup. So it may stay for a few more days, but that's really not what I meant to start with. So I'm going to get it figured out while I play the intro. Play the intro. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. Alrighty then, stop the music. Hey guys, welcome to Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight, on this beautiful January 7th, 2020. It's hump day. No, it's not hump day. Well, today's Tuesday. I don't even know what the hell day it is. It's Tuesday, thank you, and I'm here as usual, enjoying a beautiful morning here where I live in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. 70s porno music. No, I'm gonna... the Richo asked if it would have some 70s porn music. Until I get my new graphics card installed in this computer, I'm going to hold off on using anything that uses more memory than necessary. Because for some reason, when I'm running both OBS and running a pop-out chat and a bunch of websites, I think that's where my problem is with the... when I be dropping frames. In fact, it's already telling me that I'm about to drop frames. So until probably by Thursday or Friday, I will have that here and installed. I'm ordering it today. I had to do a little research because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to building computers or installing, adding stuff to my computers. And so after a bunch of research, I am going to purchase one online today. Should be here by Thursday. I may have it installed by Friday, but for sure by next weekend. So we'll go back to having the old the funk playing in the background. But until then, I'm going to try to keep it so that my stream keeps running. That's probably the best thing to do. So anyway, today the topic, at least the initial topic, I was listening to news reports and listening to, it happened during the Golden Globes because one of the people who got an award, Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe's from Australia. And as you know, there are millions and millions of acres in Australia on fire right now. And I should probably look up, let me see if I can find Russell Crowe's exact quote here. I got here a little late, so I'm not 100% prepared, but let's look up Russell Crowe here. Russell Crowe comes out in one of the top ones you get to choose. And he made a claim. Okay, well, hang on a second. What's going on here? Hold up. By the way, while I'm trying to figure this out, if you'll do me a favor, and I did tweet out the show this morning. If you want to go and if you follow me on Twitter, retweet that would be fantastic. Or you can hit the share arrow down below and send it out on whatever social media you use, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit, whatever stuff you use. And that would be great. That helps me every day. So let me see if I can find somebody. Somebody accepted the award for him because he couldn't make it to the Golden Globes. And let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. Chris Hemsworth has donated $1 million to Australia brush fire relief. Good for him. The loudest voice actor, Russell Crowe, did not attend Sunday night's Golden Globe ceremony, but in lieu of his winning speech, he passed on a message through Jennifer Aniston about Australia's destructive, and that stops there. Doggone it. Where'd it go? Well, lots of people are, here it is. All right. Here, let me just put this on the screen. Let's get Jennifer Aniston up here. Never hurts to, now it's only 35 seconds. Maybe I'll get dinged. Maybe I won't. We'll find out.
Russell Crowe could not be here with us tonight because he is at home in Australia protecting his family from the devastating bushfires. He sent along this message in case he won. Make no mistake, the tragedy unfolding in Australia is climate change based.
Now, that's fascinating, and I'm not. Please don't. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but that's an interesting way to put that. To assume that it is climate change based.
We need to act based on science, move our global workforce to renewable energy, and respect our planet for the unique and amazing place it is. That way, we all have a future. Thank you.
Okay, and we all have a future. I'm going to assume that. So that was her message via Russell Crowe. Or Russell Crowe's message via Jennifer Aniston, who looks great for a 53-year-old woman. I'm just saying. Anyway, or 50-ish. She's 50-something. She's looking pretty good for a 50-something, whatever she is. So I kind of, so a couple things have come up even since that. So apparently, there have been, what the hell happened here? Come on. Oh, God. All right, here we go. Apparently, here I was on the screen here, nearly 200 people arrested in Australia for deliberately lighting bushfires. This is from January 7th. State authorities in Australia have arrested nearly 200 people for alleged arson since the devastating bushfires began. A total of 183 people have been arrested by police across the states of Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, and Tasmania since November for 205 brush fire related offenses, local media reports. In New South Wales, 24 were apprehended and charged with deliberately setting brush fires. A further 53 people are facing legal action for allegedly failing to comply with the total fire ban, while 47 others are accused of improperly discarding a lit cigarette or a match outdoors, according to the Nine Network. Now, the latter two of those, that's pretty that's pretty diligent of them to find people who improperly discarded a lit cigarette or a match outdoors. In Queensland, police concluded that 103 fires had been deliberately lit, with 97 people, 67 of them juveniles, having been identified as the culprits. Devastating brush fires have ravaged Australia in recent months, killing at least 25 people and destroying hundreds of millions of animals and livestock. Over 2,000 homes have been destroyed by the blazes, which have so far burned through more than 5.25 million hectares, or 13 million acres of land, an area twice the size of the U.S. state of Maryland. Okay. So these people are being charged. Now, that just goes on and tells a little bit more about the different places where they've been charged. So there's the first part of it. Some of these have been set deliberately, and now there's some other issues to go along with this. So I kept hearing the word unprecedented. Okay, unprecedented. And anytime someone in the news starts talking about something being unprecedented, I always get curious. Well, is it truly unprecedented? Okay. Now, there's a couple things that I know that have been happening in Australia, and I've been reading a little bit here and there, back and forth, about, first of all, people who are environmentalists have been pushing for a change in how forestry is managed in Australia. Not even just in Australia. I mean, the same thing with the California wildfires. For some reason, they made some rule changes on how they would manage forests, and they weren't clearing, dead brush out. And I think that was, in part due to supposedly endangered species issues, and also just land management issues in general from logging and things like that. But because of that, and that's been a concern as far as the California wildfires, and the same thing has been happening in Australia. In Australia, the Green parties, the environmental parties, have been. Well, let me see. I'll look it up in a minute here. But they've been also changing how they manage forest and brush. And so now you got all these millions of acres burning, and then all we hear is climate change. Unprecedented, right? Well, here's an interesting article from The Guardian. Australia bushfires fact-checked. Are this year's fires unprecedented? Now, it is The Guardian, so you're going to expect a certain spin to this, but here we go. Australia has suffered a devastating early brush fire season, with fires across several states burning through hundreds of thousands of hectares. Hectares? I always say that wrong. I know you guys know I'm butchering that word, but anyway. And destroying hundreds of properties, with the loss of 6 lives, and millions of animals are dying. I mean, it's terrible. It's awful. It's an awful thing happening over there. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm minimizing this by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not. It's a terrible thing. And I feel awful for the people who live in that area and the wildlife that it's destroying. Anyway, New South Wales has been the most severely hit, with more than 1.65 million hectares. Someone give me a phonetic pronunciation of that word. I know I'm saying it wrong. Hectares, I think, raised, an area significantly larger than suburban Sydney. All 6 deaths occurred there, and more than 600 homes were destroyed. At one point, firefighters were battling a fire about 6,000 kilometers long, the equivalent to a return trip between Sydney and Perth. In Queensland, 20 homes have been lost. Okay, this it's burning. Australia's burning like a motherfucker. Okay, we got that. Is this unprecedented? Australia has always had devastating bushfires, a point emphasized by some columnists and newspaper editorials. But scientists, thank you, hectares. Which one is it, hectares or hectares? Okay. Exactly as it spells, E is silent. Okay, hectares. Okay. Which is roughly, a hectare is roughly, I think isn't it like 2.6 acres or something like that? I don't know how do you measure it, but anyway, it's a lot of land. Okay. Let me go back to this. Australia's always had devastating bushfires, at a point emphasized by some columnists and newspaper editorials, but scientists say the fire conditions this year are without parallel on several fronts. Yes, the scientists. Now, we're going to get into this because I'm apparently, I'm not going to foreshadow what I'm about to show you. Let's start with the situation in New South Wales. Over the past 50 years, there have been just 2 calendar years in which more of the state is burned than this year. Okay, 1974 and 1984. Okay. In the past 50 years, there have been 2 calendar years in which more of the state is burned. Period. 1974 and 1984. It's not like there's, well, we'll get into the history of brush fires in Australia in a minute. Depends on your accent. LOL. Okay, thank you. With this year, those 2 were much larger than any other year, as this graph shows, based on data from the University of Wollongong Center. Wollongong. Rachel can tell me I said that right. University of Wollongong Center for Environmental Risk Management of Bushfires. So you're looking here, 1974, almost 4 million hectares in, this is in New South Wales. Christmas Day in roughly 1984, 2 million hectares in, okay. But also look here. You got over 1 million in 2000, almost 2 million in 2002, and now in this year, you got roughly 2.5 million. So look, does this make it unprecedented? I don't know. Hectares. Thank you. Is it? I mean, does this make it unprecedented? Well, this is just from 1970 till now. Anyway, this year, which still has 6 weeks to run, sits fractionally behind 1984. Both are a long way behind 84. Both are a long way behind 1974, when more than 3.5 million hectares burned. But scientists say fire conditions today are fundamentally different and fundamentally worse in many ways when compared with some of the fires experienced in the past. The center's director, Russ Bradstock, says the 1974 fires burned through largely remote country, mostly in the state's far west, devouring green, non-woody, herbaceous plants. The conditions were created by above-average rainfall, which produced ample fuel in outback grasslands. Well, this year the fires were set by a bunch of different people. Let me continue. By contrast, the fires in the east of the state this year have been fueled by a lack of rain. The extent of the fires is in significant part driven by the amount of dry fuel available, some of it in highly unlikely places. And the amount of dry fuel is linked to the record-breaking drought. So yes, drought is affecting the fires. Are the fires unprecedented, though? That's what I'm wondering. Rainfall between January and August 2019 was the lowest on record. on record in some areas. Well, how long has that record been? I don't know. Parts of both states experienced record lowest soil moisture as temperatures and wind speeds increased, but humidity remained low. Conditions were prime for small fires to become major conflagrations. Okay? And we just had 200 some people who were arrested for setting fires. That's not a good thing when you got a lot of dry ass whatever. There was even a 79-year-old arrested for lighting 4 fires. What was he thinking? Yeah, I don't know. So this is the rainfall deficiency map in Australia. Oh, there, let me get it on the screen a little bit. Here, I'll go full screen on this so you can see the whole thing. So this is called the rainfall deficiency map, with certain areas that have their lowest rainfall on record. Severe deficiency. The dark red is lowest rainfall on record. The more orange there is a severe deficiency in rainfall, and then the yellow is just serious deficiency. Severe deficiency versus a serious deficiency. Well, more severe. The orange is worse, the red is the worst, and the yellow is bad. And the rest of Australia looks pretty normal. Okay, just saying. Okay, just these areas are bad, but not the, But it seems weird it's along the coast here too. All right. So, yeah, record going back 100 years. Yeah, during the lifetime of somebody we might know. That's their record. They don't know. Anyway, Bradstock says that it has put New South Wales in uncharted territory for the forest and woodland in the eastern half of the state. This is unprecedented. Okay, so they come down here. You got another map showing cumulative rain. This is a map showing the cumulative forest fire danger index for winter, June to August 2019, compared to all the winters since 1950. FFDI combines measurement of rainfall, evaporation, wind speed, temperature, and humidity, and the cumulative FFDI is the sum of daily values over a specific period. Now here, you would think, as I'm looking at this, you would think that all of this part of Australia would be burning. But right now, it's the area down here that's having most of the big down as far as what's going on here. No fire can be blamed on climate change alone, but Bowman says the rise in higher temperatures, extreme dryness, worsening fire seasons, extreme burst of fire weather, and behavior and the spread of fire across the country all align with scenarios painted by climate change projections. Well, of course they do. Greenhouse gas emissions have a clear impact on rising temperatures, and through that, an indirect link on increased dryness in eastern Australia. A recent study found that the extreme temperatures that drove the historic 2018 bushfires in northern Queensland were 4 times more likely to have happened because of human-caused climate change. Now, here's what I'm so curious, because if this true, in short, climate change can and does make bushfires worse. And I don't necessarily dispute that, but I can't figure out, have we been having record fires in Australia continuously over the last 10 years? I know that we've had a problem in California. There have been a lot of wildfires in California. This is maybe, people like Richo or somebody can answer that question. Or is this just, now look, I'm looking at this little graph they put up here. Okay. Unprecedented. Suddenly this year, climate change is the reason we have these immense, crazy fires. And yet, I look at this. So this is this year, but then last year you got there were some fires, but not a lot. This was higher than that. This was, let's take out this year. Okay, no. Well, this was a pretty bad year. Not so bad. A very good year. 2010 was excellent. Now, I'm pretty sure we had climate change then too. But then let's go back. Well, here's a years of, they're all pretty bad in the early 2000s. Was that climate change? How about between 1985, 1985 and 1996, boy, you had some serious years of fires. But wait a minute. Going 84 when they had this really bad year on Christmas Day, or they started on Christmas Day. This stretch of years is really bad too. Was the climate change worse then than it was the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, 10 years, the 2010s? Were the 70s? Did the 70s have a bigger climate change problem, or at least 75 to 85, or 74 to 84? Look at this. The worst one ever in the last 30, 40 years. 50 years, excuse me. Gosh, it's 2020. Can you believe that 1970 was 50 years ago? That's scary. That's scary. Well, not scary. It's I'm starting to show my age. So from 1974 to 1984, this was brutal years for bushfires in Australia. But wait a minute, the climate change is happening between 2000 and now, but this is obviously much worse time. So is this unprecedented? I'm having a hard time thinking it's unprecedented. But that's, that's very instructive. But down here, this guy's saying greenhouse gas emissions have a clear impact on rising temperatures, and through that, an indirect link on increased dryness in eastern Australia. A recent study found the extreme temperatures that drove the historic 2018 bushfires in northern Queensland were 4 times more likely to have happened because of human-caused climate change. Wait a minute. 2018? Is that what he said? The historic 2018 bushfires in northern Queensland. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 2018. Less than 100, maybe a little over 100,000 hectares. Hectares. What historic bushfires in northern Queensland that were fueled by climate change is he talking about? Now, here's the thing. Are they historic because these are affecting more populated areas now, and it's burning more residences, and maybe the I don't know. But to say that this is climate change, I go back to this graph right here. Clearly, 1974 to 1984, when supposedly the climate change wasn't, maybe it wasn't as bad. I don't know. That we weren't talking about it then. We really started talking about climate change in a more popular news sense, basically starting in the 90s, right? And 90s through now, and now everything's climate change. And yet, well, do you think were the fires set by China? Now, fires by, I'm sorry, I'm having hard talking. Can't talk. Good. Is it climate change? I don't know. Certainly, this is not unprecedented by any stretch. Now, that only goes back to 1970. So then I found this other article. Australian bushfire or wildfire history. New South Wales, Australia's most populous state. Oh, that's the other thing. New South Wales is the most populous state. So having a fire in New South Wales is clearly going to cause more concern than a less populous state or an unpopulated area or a sparsely populated area, right? You know what? Here, let me do something real quick before I go on, because I want to make sure okay, chat's okay. It's good. This is all going good. Real quick before I continue, just want to remind you, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live, if you'd be so kind, please share this stream out. I got to do my commercial. That's what I forgot to do. Please share this stream out using the arrow down below that says share, or you can follow me on Twitter at PDawg. No, you don't have to put anything. And Knights is like the knight in shining armor. At PDawg on Twitter, you can retweet my tweet, or also, make sure if you like what we do here, hit the like button. I'll remind you on the way out. And if you'd like to do super chats or donate to the cause so that when I add upgrades to my computer and things like that, you can certainly help by donating through the Streamlabs link down below and using that as your super chat forum. I do read my super chats pretty much as they come up. Plus, I've added some special alerts when you do super chats. If you look down in the description down below, I've do different things for different dollar amounts. And in fact, I had a request yesterday. Somebody requested that I put in the dollar amounts of $3.57. And what was the other one? I think it was $5.56. What the hell? Oh, twerking. Okay, hang on. Okay, twerking Mamacita. Okay, so I've added. So if you have a special dollar amount you want me to add, I will add it. In fact, I'll even use memes you suggest, or if you have some GIFs you want to suggest, I'll throw them in there. But Duck Dog requested the $3.57 amount and the $5.56 amounts. And so I've added a special Charles Barkley alert and a twerking Mamacita alert. You'll see those in the description down below. If you want to see what those are, those are the amounts you need to donate. That would be very helpful to the cause. All right, moving back to the bushfires in Australia. So, New South Wales, Australia's most populous state with 7.27 million residents, has been scorched by at least 98 fires over the past week. Now, this is 98 fires, and they've arrested how many people? 200 people? Okay, at last count on Sunday, at least 22 were still burning out of control. Some 143,000 acres, or 58,000 hectares, have been charred so far, with a loss of 208 homes and a single fatality as of October 20th. So this was back in, this was from, now this is hilarious. I didn't even look at the date on this article. This is from October 21st, 2013. Let me go back here. 2013. 2000, 2001, 2012, or 2011, 12, 13. So this is when 500,000 hectares burned in New South Wales. Just roughly 500,000. Now, if you look on this list from 1970 to date, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years out of 50 that were equal to that or more burns. So brush fires are not uncommon in Australia whatsoever. Okay, now this article from 2013, when they lost 208 homes, a single fatality, NSW officials say these are the most dangerous conditions seen in the state for 40 years. Really? 2013's right here. Okay. And that's 2013 when they said it. Now, every year between then and now have the condition, did the conditions improve immensely between 2013 and 2014? Oh, you can't see that. I'm sorry. Here's my cursor. Here's 2013, that year that was. Well, here's 2014, way less than, even less the next year, less that year, and less that year. Oh, but then we have this year when we have the really bad ones, which seem to happen about every between every 8 and 10 years, there's one really bad one in Australia, according to this here. All right. Australia has a long history of devastating wildfires, including one of the largest known in world history. The Black Friday brush fire, which burned across Australia's Victorian state, or peaking on January 13th, 1939. Some 4.5 to 5 million acres were scorched. 7,800 square miles, 71 died, about 75% of the entire state was affected, and 1,100 homes and log mills were destroyed. Ash from the fires fell in New Zealand, some 2,000 miles to the east. Extreme heat preceded the fire, including the hottest temperature ever measured in New South Wales, 49.7 degrees Celsius, or 121 degrees Fahrenheit, on January 10th. This is in 1939. Was that due to climate change? I don't know. Why do I have this on top chat? Maybe that's why I'm not seeing anything on here. Oh gosh, you guys have been chatting up a storm, and can't even see it because I had my shit on top chat here. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even realize the chat wasn't moving. Oh, I did something terrible. I just realized. Oh my gosh. Someone could smack me with a wet noodle later. I got to say good morning to everybody. My gosh. Hello. Hang on. My sincerest apologies. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. Hi, Richo, my friend from down under, who is most affected, other than women and black trans women of color. But Richo is affected by the fires. You get 2 bells just for being first, and that's the good wishes to you, Bell. Good morning, Chadwick Dupree, also known as Dammit Chadwick. Marsupial Gamer has an Australian kind of name. I'm not sure what your relationship to Australia is, but that's the only place in the world you could find marsupials that are not in captivity. W.R. Costin, MC Hammer Time. Hammer Time, by the way, I'm making an alert specifically for you. If you have a special dollar amount you'd like to have your Hammer Time alert to be, let me know. Good morning, Becca Farley. And Green Badger Outdoors and Necrosaw Collins, Kiever Dam. Check your logic. Peter Almond. I'm scrolling. Della Hayes. Hello, Del. How you doing? Duck Dog. I'm moving down farther here. And who am I missing? I got Peter Almond, Green Badger Outdoors. It's Renovacio. How you doing? Maniac Man. Midnight in Exile. Mike Savage. And Ginger Power. That's everyone in the chat. Also, hi to everyone who's lurking. Green Thunder Demighty. How you doing? The possum is the only marsupial in North America. Oh, yeah, I forgot about it. Possum. Yeah, we do have one marsupial. All right. So there you go. So back to this article from 2013. So it's interesting. The highest temperature recorded in Australia is January 13th. Or around that time. What's the date on that? The highest temperature. Anyways, 1939. So more proof of global warming. Anyway, so they have a whole list of fires here. And here's this one. Now this is 1994, 26,000. Is this a total area? Let's see. Where's I got to find the little footnote here. What is this measured in? It does not say. Where's the footnotes? Oh, 1 hectare is 2.47 acres. 1 acre is 0.405 hectares. So if you're wondering, for those of you who use hectares and or acres, what? Whoa. What the? Oh, there's some, what's going on? Midnight in Exile? Ah, hey! We have our first super chat of the day from Craven Moorhead for $3.57, saying, No, that's a quote from Craven Moorhead. Ha 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 ha. Okay, thank you for the $3.57, and you get the first Sir Charles gift of the day. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff, if you donate to this channel, you get when you donate. You get special animations. Okay. So I'm looking at this, and this is a list. Now, this is interesting. So I'm looking at acres burned. This is 1851. 5 million hectares burned. Holy shit, that's 15 million, or 15 for 10. That's 12.5 million acres. In 1851. Wow. More proof of global warming there. Now here's 260,000 in 1898. 2 million in 1938. That's the Black Friday brush fires they were just talking about. Here's 1.8 million in 1961. 264,000, 67, 103,000, 77, a million, just under a million in 1980. I mean, we got 400,000, 418,000, 300,000, 1.3 million in 2003, 1 million hectares in 2006. Let's see. All right, so clearly, and this is the 2013 article, clearly not unprecedented. Okay. Now, but I guarantee you, if you look on Twitter, anything related to this fire, it's all about climate change. It is unprecedented. It's all climate change. In fact, let's just look up Australia fires and see how many times in the first page or two I can find the words climate change. Australia fires. Well, that just says Australia fire. Let's see. Wildlife rescuer holds koala safe from raging bushfires in Australia. Oh, they haven't said the word climate change yet here. Anyone hear climate change? Yes, record heat, dry weather, and gusty winds have made conditions ripe for horrific brushfires in Australia, but it should infuriate everyone to see that dozens of arsonists are being arrested for starting the deadly infernos. Yeah, that's true. That's, okay, a lot of people are just mentioning it because they're asking if it is climate change. Wayne Dupree has an article, Climate Change, nearly 200 people across Australia arrested. Okay, these are a lot of people on the right bitching. Here, let's Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg's weighed in. Ecologists at the University of Sydney and World Wildlife Foundation Australia estimate that a billion animals has died. Okay, this English is not her first language, so I'm going to give her a pass on the language thing there. Has died in Australia bushfires. Over a billion would be a very conservative figure, says Chris Dickman from the University of Sydney. Okay, let's look at the HuffPost article on this, because this will be instructive. Number of animals feared dead in Australia's wildfire soars to over 1 billion. Now, I'm wondering too, does this happen every time there are major bushfires like this in Australia? I bet it does. I bet this is not unprecedented. It's awful. It's a terrible thing. Excuse me, let me grab a little sip of my reparations coffee here. It's terrible. But to use this as an agenda, how dare you? This is it's agenda being. I have to be. I guess do I have to be careful a little bit? I mean, yes, it's terrible, but it's this to make this all about climate change when clearly, I closed those tabs. Clearly, it's not unprecedented. The number of wildlife estimated to have died in Australia's wildfire catastrophe has skyrocketed to more than 1 billion. Okay, I'm not sure. That's an estimate, obviously. Estimated. Chris Dickman, an ecologist at the University of Sydney, told HuffPost that his original estimate of $480 million animals was not only conservative, it was exclusive to the state of New South Wales and excluded significant groups of wildlife for which they had no population data. So this is a wild estimate. Okay. The original figure of the 480 million was based on mammals, birds, and reptiles for which we do have densities, and that figure is now a little bit out of date. It's over 800 million given the extent of the fires now in New South Wales alone, he said. If 800 million sounds like a lot, it's not all the animals in the fire line, he said. That figure excluded animals including bats, frogs, and invertebrates with, well... Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. The only reason that's funny to me, the figure excluded animals including bats, frogs, and invertebrates. Well, I couldn't imagine how many amoebas in the water have been killed because of the temperatures. It might be 1 trillion if you count every invertebrate. With these numbers included, Dickman said it was without any doubt at all that the losses exceeded 1 billion. Over 1 billion would be a very conservative figure, he said. Clearly, this is it's awful, but can you feel the agenda here? An environmental scientist at the World Wildlife Fund Australia, Stuart Blanc, confirmed these estimates, reiterating that, given the expansion of the fires since the last calculations, 1 billion was a modest guess. It's our climate's impact and our obsession with coal that is helping wage war on our own country. Okay. Hang on a second, please, while I go back to this particular... Let's go back to this graph again. Remember this graph? Okay, let's just take a look at this graph again, because I want to remind you, whenever you hear the words, what did he say? It's our climate impact and our obsession with coal that is helping wage war on our own country. See this? 1974. Oh, 1970, 84. Oh, and 2003. Oh, every 10 years there's terrible fires like this in Australia. Should we go back farther? Should we go back? I mean, and again, I don't want to minimize this awful event that happens every 10 years in Australia. Bushfires are a part of the culture of living in Australia, I guess. Critically endangered species, including the southern Corabi frog and mountain pygmy possum, could be wiped out as fires ravage crucial habitat in Victoria's Alpine National Park and New South Wales' neighboring Kosciuszko National Park. Threat species such as the glossy black cockatoo, spotted-tailed quoll, and long-footed potoroo, both small marsupials, are also facing real risks of extinction in large parts of their range. Now, here's another thing. I'm mildly curious, and so these fires have been happening for at least 170 years, because we know about the 1851 fire that took, what was it, 12, let me find the number here. In 1851, 5 million hectares. Okay, that's the worst one on this list. 1851, the Black Thursday brush fires, 5 million hectares. Okay, which is about 12.5 million acres. All this wildlife, what happened to them then? Now let's see, what part of Australia was that in? It was in Victoria mostly. And a lot of these fires, it seems Victoria seems to be the most common state on this list. New South Wales is in there a few times. Western Australia a couple times, but Victoria especially seems to be quite prone to the bushfires. Where did these animals go then? I'm wondering, because animals have kind of an instinct for escaping shit like this. Of course, not all of them make it. Clearly not in these cases. But have these animals found a way to not become extinct, so to speak? You know, it's just interesting. The animals are still here, so they didn't get killed in those fires. But again, there's different parts of Australia burning, so I'm sure there's different species and variations of species in different parts of Australia, just like you'd find in any other part of the world where there's, one region will have this particular species, one region will have this particular variation of the species. It's called Darwinism, yeah. But I gotta think that, somehow these species have all survived all these fires in Australia. And I'm only counting the last 170 years that they've got recorded here. And again, you gotta wonder, how many fires have burned across Australia before it was Australia? Did lightning strike? Was there ever a fire in Australia that just lightning struck and happened to be a dry year and the whole, the bush burned millions and millions of acres and there were no firefighters there to put it out? Anyway, but again, okay, I don't need to read any more of that. But yeah, so yes, thank you, Greta, for. Oh, I didn't even put out the tweet. Holy shit, I never hit it. That's why you guys didn't retweet it. But somebody, thank you to Necrosol and Becca Farley for tweeting out the show, because I did it on Gab and Minds, but I didn't click the button for Twitter. So it's there now if you want to retweet that. Yeah, so thank you, Greta Thunberg, for letting us know. New York Times, it's a biological Armageddon. Is it the first? What happened? I'm curious. What happened? What happened to all those animals in 2003 when you had 2 million hectares burning? What happened in 1983 when there were 2 million hectares burning? What happened in 1974 when 3.5 million hectares burned? What happened in 1851 when 5 million hectares burned? Who are we going to blame it on? Who do we blame those on? I don't, of course, these dickheads who went around setting fires probably they can go straight to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Renovaccio, the lightning was white, therefore white supremacy. Yes. Yeah, y'all, I'm sorry, white people. Y'all, you are the blame for everything. Everything bad in the world is your fault. I'm just saying. Anyway, so there you go. That's my whole question. How exactly is this unprecedented? I hear that word over and over and over. Unprecedented. Anybody? Not to me. All right. Now, moving on. Let's move on to something else here. Let me find it. What did I do with it? Oh shoot. Okay. So we were talking about yesterday. We mentioned the Golden Globe Awards, and Ricky Gervais had his epic speech. Which the only part of that speech that, as I think about it more and more, and I've been listening to some of my friends who have different opinions than me, and I loved the speech that Ricky Gervais gave. Okay, I thought it was great. He snapped at, he took shots at people, kind of went celebrity roast on some people, and that was funny. And I thought it was great because, the hypocrisy of Hollywood and whatnot. And he ended the speech saying that, you guys come up here and you don't know the world, and you give, so instead of coming up here and giving us your political bullshit, blah, 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 why don't you just come up here and thank your agent and thank your God and shut the fuck up. Okay? And, it was interesting because a lot of people on the right were applauding him, which is great. I mean, I agree. I thought it was a great speech. I thought it was funny. And And some people on the left, they were the same, thought some of it was really good, especially when they talk about Apple or something like that. But a lot of people on the left and a lot of people in the media in particular were just, this was terrible. It was terrible. Well, the one thing that he'd said, and I had to think about this a while, and after listening to some friends and other people that I watch online, I'm thinking, when he says, say your thank yous and this, that, shut the fuck up. Because basically, everyone's saying, nobody cares what celebrities think. And you know what? I don't care. I really don't care if celebrities want to give their opinion and use their platform for their cause and this and that. In fact, more power to them to do that. And for example, as we think about Ricky Gervais and his speech, you got to remember Gervais. I'm sorry, I keep saying Gervais. Ricky Gervais is also a celebrity, and we all applaud him for making that speech, right? Because it was taking a shot at the other powerful people. But you know what? Ricky Gervais is also a celebrity, and I liked him giving his opinion. So I don't care if celebrities give their opinion. But I just also want them to know that because you have an opinion doesn't mean you're smart or doesn't mean you know anything or doesn't mean you know the plight of people that you think that you're helping. You have no idea, okay? So please, celebrities, speak away. Give us your great endowed opinion because of your position as someone who everybody knows who they are. But don't expect us, one, to give a shit what you think. Although in a way I do, because otherwise it wouldn't annoy me when celebrities speak. But also don't expect me to believe anything that comes out of your mouth. Because you live in the most sealed tight bubble almost on the entire planet, in the most sealed tight area of the country, and you encircle yourself almost exclusively with people who think just like you and don't really see the world. You play act real people, but the only reason you would ever know what those real people are like is because you have to go do research on who you're play acting, and maybe you get your hands dirty once in a while, going and researching a role. But in my opinion, and most of the people who watch you and pay money to see you do what you do best, which we love. I love seeing movies and musicians and whatnot do their craft and do it really well. But you don't live in our world. And so I'm fine. I don't care. Use your little award show where you guys are having your We're So Great circle jerk, and and spout off and say what you got to say. And you're free to do that. Man, more power to you. But I don't think that your opinion carries any weight when you may not even know what the hell you're talking about. Or the only things that you espouse are things that you hear within your bubble. And maybe you've never heard anything else outside of that bubble. You see the people who are outside your bubble as those dirty people that you might find in a Walmart or in a Target store, or, who pump their own gas, or who drive themselves around, or who fly coach. Okay. So please spout away. Now, one of the speeches at the Golden Globes was very interesting. And to me, it wasn't, now it's not going to be the part that you think that caught my ear. Okay. Michelle Williams, I'm not even sure what show she's in. I don't know. I have no idea. And it's interesting because Michelle Williams got an award for something, and I don't even know what. Okay. Here, let me do it real quick here. And, I found it interesting, and I know it pissed a lot of people off because she's pregnant right now, and she attributed. Let's see, let me get a size here that fits the screen a little better. She was attributing, her career to the fact that, at one point in her career, she was choosing between career and this thing that was in her body that she didn't, she wanted to get rid of, right? And so she alluded to the idea that her career is where it is now because she was able to remove that thing from her body. But that's not the part that really jumped out at me. Okay. Now you can have your opinion on that one way or the other. I mean, I don't know. And for me, it was a little crass, but for some people, it was like, oh, Joe, good for you. Good for you. But that wasn't the part that really caught my ear. And the part that really caught my ear, just listen to the beginning of what she said. Because I don't even know who that is either. I think she was, isn't she in the Apple TV? I don't have Apple TV. The one about the talk show, the morning talk show. And it's these three blonde women or whatever. Anyway, listen to the beginning of what she said, though. The part about her having an abortion, you can have any opinion you want on that. And I just thought it was weird and crass. I don't, it's like, I owe my career because instead of having a child, I had an abortion. Everyone's going to have strong feelings about that in one way or another. But listen to the beginning of her speech here.
Thank you so much. First of all, to my Fosse Verdon family and to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. When you put this in someone's hands, you're acknowledging the choices that they make as an actor.
When you put this, and I'm going to repeat it just in case you're having a hard time here. She said, when you put this, meaning this award, in someone's hands, you're acknowledging the choices they made as an actor.
By moment, scene by scene, day by day, but you're also...
Moment by moment, scene by scene, day by day. But you're also...
acknowledging the choices they make as a person.
Acknowledging the choices they make as a person.
The education they pursue, the training they sought, the hours they put.
The education they pursue, the training they thought, the hours...
I'm grateful for
the hours they worked.
The acknowledgement of the choices I've made, and I'm also grateful
Here, hang on a second.
to have lived put in. I'm grateful for the acknowledgement of the choices I've made, and I'm also grateful to have lived at a moment in
I'm grateful for the acknowledgement of the choices I've made. So this is the part of the speech that jumped out for me. So she's saying that, no, getting this award is not just about the accomplishment I did in this particular venue, movie, whatever, but it's also an acknowledgement of the choices she made in her life. That's what these awards are about? Really? Because I thought these awards were supposed to be for achievement in a particular role, not having anything to do what you do in your personal life. Okay, so let's think about that. I think not too long ago, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences gave an Oscar to somebody named Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski lives in France because he is in exile from the U.S. and France will not allow the United States to extradite him because he was found guilty of giving a 12-year-old girl drugs and champagne and raping her in a hot tub. There goes my monetization, which I don't have anyway, so I'm not worried about that. Oh, excuse me. Anally raping a 12-year-old girl in a hot tub after giving her Quaaludes and champagne. They gave Roman Polanski an Oscar after he fled the country to escape sentencing for raping a 12-year-old girl after giving her Quaaludes and champagne and anally raping her in a hot tub. Oh, Michelle Williams, what was that you said?
Acknowledging the choices that they make as an actor, moment by moment, scene by scene, day by day, but you're also acknowledging the choices they make as a person.
You're also acknowledging the choices they make as a person. Wow. Hey, Roman, excuse me, just give me just a second here. Hello, Roman. Hi. Hey, how you doing? It's PDawg. Yeah. We still want to get your ass back in the country because you need to go to jail for your crime. But hey, did you know that the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, when they gave you that award, it was because of the choices you made in life? Oh, yeah. So, you know what? Now I heard you're having a little trouble in France too because you got caught doing something with some girls that you weren't supposed to. But hey, maybe you'll get another award from the American Motion Picture Societies and all that shit, right? Okay, I just wanted to let you know. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. What the hell are you talking about, woman? You know who else they gave awards to? Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein got an Academy Award a couple years ago. Did you know that? Who else did they give an Academy Awards to? Well, I'm pretty sure Bill Cosby got Emmys, but that's before Hollywood knew. But you know what? Hey, maybe Hollywood knew what was going on with Bill Cosby. That's why they gave him awards. Because what did she say? What was it? Hang on.
Moment by moment, scene by scene, day by day, but you're also acknowledging the choices they make as a person.
Oh, they're always also acknowledging the choices you make as a person? Okay, there you go. So now we know that these award shows don't give a shit about your craft. They're just giving awards out so they can, tell you what a great person you are. So, the abortion part, Michelle, everyone's going to have a different opinion about that. Yeah. So, but great. I'm glad it's whatever, woman. Okay, moving on. I'm already at the time where we'd be doing Twitter trends. You know what? Let's go ahead and check that out. We can do more headlines tomorrow. Real quick programming note. On Friday, we are having our first our first Dog Park Friday of the year. We have one confirmed guest. That would be the Hard Bastard from Hard News Network. That will be a treat. We're going to talk about if the impeachment shit ever starts up again. That's what we're going to try and talk about. Impeachment and the road leading to and the road ahead as far as the whole Trump impeachment thing. If there's some other big news, we'll probably touch on other big news of the day. So look forward to that. Hard Bastard's a great guest, and it'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully I got a couple other people that are going to show up, and we'll have a nice little round table. But if it's just me and HB, hey, that's going to be hot too. So there you go. So let's not, there's all kinds of headliners. Lots to talk about here. Well, let me just go through. We'll get headlines, but I'm not going to get into them. Okay, so let me just see what some of the things are. Pentagon leaders defends Soleimani strike. He was planning imminent combat operations against U.S. military. President Trump defends killing Soleimani. He was a terrorist, not a poet. 35 killed in a stampede at the funeral for the Iranian general. Iranians call for celebrations. Okay, some Iranian. Oh, now we'll have to look at this headline. I'm sorry, I got to see this one. Hang on. Not everyone in Iran is mad that Soleimani's dead, apparently. This from The Blaze. Now, it's taking a great assault. It is The Blaze, but we'll check it out. Iranians call for celebrations over Soleimani's death. Bake cakes thanking President Trump. Interesting. While Democrats express outrage over President Donald Trump's decision to order the airstrike that killed Qasem Soleimani without congressional approval, that still cracks me up. Hey, Gun Fox 61. Did I say hi to Green Badger Outdoor? I think I did. Hi, Green Badger again. Anyway, the reason I'm laughing, without a congressional approval. Do you know that President Obama did over 2,800 different attacks in the Middle East without congressional approval? Because they gave him that, AUS agreement? I don't know. Anyway, since Soleimani's surprise death late Thursday, numerous images have surfaced on social media showing how much the Iranian public approves of Soleimani's death. Now, that's fascinating because you had that gigantic images of the gigantic funeral, millions of people in the streets in Tehran all mourning Soleimani. So this is interesting. While the Iranian regime has called for 3 days of mourning, some Iranians are calling for 3 days of celebrations, according to national security expert David Reboy. In fact, many Iranians even baked cakes and other desserts marking the incident, some of which directly thank Trump for his action. Here's the tweet. Iranian regime called for 3 days of mourning, but Iranians are baking cakes and calling for a celebration. They're posting pictures of the cakes and cookies and giving it out to people with thanks to Trump. Here's down here. If you can't see that, here, maybe I can make it bigger. Let's see. That's what she said. Here, Free Iran 2020, thanks Trump. One is greater than 1,500, and then something else written in Farsi here. Here's some others, more Iranian celebratory cakes. Wow, they got some serious bakers in Iran. Look at these bad boys. Let's see. There's a nice, look at that with little fish on it and stuff, and making cakes there. And I don't know what this says. And is that Farsi or is that Arabic? I don't know. I can't recognize it. Here we go. Another, I don't know what that's supposed to be, but people baking cakes in Iran. Interesting. Let's go back to here. However, Iranians were not the only people celebrating Soleimani's death. As the Blaze reported, Iraqis were also thrilled by the news. That is because Soleimani, who is directly responsible for untold violence and countless deaths across the Middle East, has directly intervened in Iraqi affairs. Most recently, Soleimani advised Iraqi leaders how to deal with anti-government protesters, the Associated Press reported. From the AP, "We in Iran know how to deal with protests," Soleimani told Iraqi officials, according to two senior officials familiar with the meeting who spoke on a condition of anonymity to discuss the secret gathering. "This happened in Iran and we got it under control." Yeah, they killed over 1,500 people during the last round of protests in Iran, so they know how to deal with protesters, all right. A day after Soleimani's visit, the clashes between the protesters and security forces in Iraq became far more violent, with the death toll soaring past 100. Well, they did learn well from General Soleimani then. As identified snipers shot demonstrators in the head and the chest, nearly 150 protesters were killed in less than a week. Why are we still in Iraq? God. On Thursday, Secretary of State... What? No, they need... Oh, my God. These internet outlets need editors. They said on Thursday, Secretary of State Mike Pence... Wrong! It would be Pompeo... tweeted a video showing Iraqi citizens celebrating. Okay, let's check out the video of Iraqi citizens celebrating.
الساعة 4:30 احتفالات بمقتل سليماني. هذا حوبة الشهداء اللي راحت ودم الشهداء والضحايا والشهداء العراقيين كلهم طلعت اليوم.
So this is in Iraq, celebrating the streets. Interesting. Iraqis, like their Iranian neighbors, also have baked desserts thanking Trump for his decisive action. Social media posts showed. And so here's Iraq, Trump, thank you, with some weird looking pasta looking stuff right there. Okay, so that's that story. All right, let's get into trends. I'm gonna skip the rest of the headlines because I got to get out of here. By the way, thank you again, those of you who do super chats and also who spend each day with me in the regular chat. You know what? I am an equal opportunity, thank the chat kind of guy. And I'm glad you guys show up each and every day. A lot of you are here daily, and a lot of you here are here where you can be, and you lurk when you can't, and that's cool too. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's check out what's trending on Twitter. By the way, I got two more thank yous, Tyler F. and Necrosol, for retweeting the show out this morning. In fact, I'm going to do this real quick. If you haven't done so, even at this point in time, if you're on Twitter, there is the tweet. I just put it in the chat. If you want to right click that and just even retweet it, that would be great. The more the merrier. And even if people watch it after the fact, I'm okay with that. By the way, if you're one of those people, because I have several people who watch the show after the fact, do me a favor and put a comment in the comment section down below, just so that I know you were here if you're here after the fact. Because some people miss the beginning of the show, watch it later. Some people just watch it exclusively during when it's not live because they can't watch it at work. I appreciate you people too. So if you happen to be watching it and it's not live, put something in the chat so that I know you're here. So at least I can give you a thank you or something. PDawg Night, you need to get Discord for us that are Twitter banned. I'm thinking about that. I have a Discord account. I don't know how it all works. I don't know how the server stuff works. I do have Discord though. Let me think that one out. Cause, boomer guy right here. Remember? I figured out how to use OBS and I laugh because I've been pretty much on the internet since there was internet. I used to be a blogger. I used to be in the Yahoo chat rooms, the AOL chat rooms. And I kind of know my way around this stuff, but I pretend to be boomer logic. Anyway, let's get into the trends today and get the heck out of Dodge. But first, the top story on Twitter trends on my Twitter today. France marks 5 years since the Charlie Hebdo attack. Remember the Charlie Hebdo did the cartoons of Mohammed, and people came in and killed a bunch of people in their news outlet. On January 7th, 2015, 2 gunmen killed 12 people and injured 11 others at the Charlie Hebdo satirical magazine in Paris, sending shockwaves through France. So they're commemorating that day today. Looks like, let's see.
Just behind me, outside the ceremony, a moment of grief for all those present here. You have the Justice Minister Nicole Belloubet, the Interior Minister Christophe Castaner, the Mayor of Paris Anne Hidalgo, but of course you have the families of the victims who are here, who are just behind me outside the former headquarters of Charlie Hebdo, the satirical magazine that came under attack exactly 5 years ago when the Kouachi brothers, the gunmen, stormed in and killed those cartoonists, those journalists present in these offices on that morning of January 7th. So this is one of the events commemorating those attacks. There will be other events later on, notably in the nearby Boulevard Richard Lenoir, where a policeman was shot down by the Kouachi brothers. And then there will be also another moment important outside the kosher supermarket, Porte de Vincennes, which is a bit further away, just on the outskirts of Paris. This is a moment that's extremely important, of course, for the families and for France as a whole, a moment for the nation to come together, also to show that this tragedy, these dramatic events will never be forgotten. And as I speak, you might be able to hear behind me the Marseillaise, the French national anthem, being performed. Again, the sign that the French nation is paying tribute to those fallen in that terrorist attack.
So there's that. It's kind of weird though, because I mean, someone said it in the chat, and the French government capitulated to the terrorists by banning offending them. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So, good morning, Lindsay. How you doing? Hey, Shiagrath, I'm glad you're here. Peter Allman, you were here earlier, right? I said hello to you already, but if I didn't, hello, Peter Allman, also. So I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, that was so wild, and that was before I got on YouTube as a creator. I watched a lot of YouTube stuff there, and just and you know, I was on Twitter at the time, and man, it was just weird how France has made it. You know, they're so worried about offending people that it was almost like they couldn't actually. I mean, they made it harder for places like Charlie Hebdo instead of blaming the attackers. And so that was a whole weird mess. Anyway, trending on Twitter, number 1, Giants. Giants is trending number 1. China targets internet giants in antitrust law overhaul. Interesting. Hang on. Okay, that's not why it's trending. Why is it trending then? What? There's a couple reasons why Giants is trending. One is that, let me go back to that real quick, see if I can click this. Proposed revisions include greater regulatory monitoring on the impact internet companies have on various online businesses. Interesting. China has included the internet industry for the first time in an envisioned overhaul of its anti-monopoly laws, potentially giving regulators the power to rein in the country's increasingly dominant technology giants. Proposed revisions to the anti-monopoly law published last week include language that accords regulators responsibility to monitor the impact that internet companies have on the online sector, their scale, and their ability to control products and services. More broadly, companies found to have violated the law could be fined as much as 10% of their revenue and have their entire CEO and board of directors guillotined. Okay, it doesn't really say that. It is China, though. Sorry if you were listening but not really paying attention to the screen. That did not say that. Oh, gosh. Anyway. China itself is home to some of the world's largest corporations, from e-commerce giant Alibaba Group Holding to WeChat operator Tencent Holdings. Okay. And the TikTok creator, which has software that spies on you. Okay. I am concerned anytime software says it's made in China. But actually Giants is also trending because of the sports topic. The fact that the Giants are hiring Patriots ST coach, safe and wide receivers coach. What's ST? Special teams coach and wide receivers coach Joe Judge. Sources said he just informed Bill Belichick. So another Patriots assistants going into head coaching rankings. And hey, you know what? I don't mean to talk football for the moment, but it certainly seems like ex-Patriots coaches have great success against the Patriots. In fact, 14 of the last 15 Patriots losses were against coaches who used to be Patriots assistants. Isn't that fascinating? All right, moving on. Let's see. Let me click the show more too here. 7 is coming. Oh, God. I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to immediately click back because, it's K-pop. New BTS album, Map of the Soul 7, is set to drop February 1st. Aren't you excited? Click. Matt Rule is finalizing a deal with the Panthers that supports Puerto Rico's trending. Oh, there's an earthquake. That earthquake in Puerto Rico. Remember yesterday we saw that kind of natural landmark that got destroyed because of the earthquake in Puerto Rico. Here it is. Earthquake destroys iconic natural landmark. Here's how this is the before and after. Let me go full screen. After the earth, this is really an iconic landmark in Puerto Rico, and this is before, this is the after. That's sad, don't go after K-pop fans. Their fans can be crazy. I know. I'm kind of looking forward to some K-pop fan discovering me, and just so I can see what the avalanche is like. I'm just curious. I just want to see. I've never been dogpiled for anything really. Because I'm not all that controversial on Twitter, but at some point a K-pop fan is going to find me, and they're going to be like, "The fuck did you just say? What did he just say?" I said K-pop sucks. Okay. All right. That's why Puerto Rico is trending, because there was an earthquake. U.S. Coast Guard is conducting overflight assessments to identify any potential signs of pollution in the water or damage to the port infrastructure and navigate waterways following a magnitude 6.5 earthquake in Puerto Rico. So we're going to be hearing a little bit about the damage there. Puerto Rico's governor signs a state of emergency declaration following the most damaging quake to impact the island since 1918. I am pretty confident that this earthquake is due to global warming. Climate change. It's not global warming anymore. Here's some people who are giving their thoughts and prayers, I guess, to the Puerto Ricans. Pete Buttigieg. My thoughts are with our fellow citizens in Puerto Rico. In the wake of last night's earthquakes, as they rise to overcome another tragedy, Puerto Ricans must be assured that this administration will act quickly to provide any federal support needed. Okay. I'm sure they will. Kamala Harris, Puerto Rico has already suffered so much. Keeping these Americans in my prayers as recovery begins. Now, okay. Are Puerto Ricans technically U.S. citizens? I can't remember how that works. Okay, and then Brooklyn, and our good friend Brooklyn Dad Defiant. We haven't seen him for a while, but he's usually only shows up in Trump tweets. But here he is. Prayers for Puerto Rico, which still hasn't recovered from Hurricane Maria, which was just hit by a magnitude 6.5 earthquake, and now a tsunami watch, which is, that sucks. pretty sure paper towels won't get it done. Or the billions and billions of dollars of aid we send and will help like it did after the earthquake, although you don't give us any credit for that. Puerto Rico are U.S. citizens. Why sadly? I'm not sad that they're U.S. citizens. People at Guam are U.S. citizens, aren't they? I wasn't 100% sure. I always get that mixed up. But they are U.S. citizens. Okay. Oh, God. And Bernie Sanders. The Trump administration has failed the people of Puerto Rico. The island is still rebuilding from Hurricane Maria, which has struck the island 2 years ago. Now Puerto Rico is suffering blackouts after a devastating earthquake. We must do everything we can to help them rebuild. Okay, Bernie, go ahead. Sell 2 of your houses and give them all the money. Hey, Cryptic, how you doing? Welcome. Puerto Rico is our legal Mexicans. Okay. What if Guam tips over? If Guam tips over, I'm kicking somebody's ass because they told me Guam couldn't tip over. I will call Hank Johnson's office personally. If Guam tips over, and I will call Hank Johnson's office, I will apologize to him for every bad thing I've ever said about him, which I really haven't done that. But anyway, Julian Castro, no longer running for president. My thoughts are with the island of Puerto Rico as they deal with the aftermath of this disaster. The people of Puerto Rico are resilient. The Trump administration has an urgent responsibility to assist them in recovery. You motherfuckers are all, let's politicize this more. I hate to break it to you, but the failure in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria didn't have to do with the aid or whatever we were giving them. What happened was the local Teamsters in Puerto Rico refused to use their trucks. They went on strike. Did you know? Did you ever hear about that? The Teamsters went on strike in Puerto Rico after the earthquake because they were worried. They were worried about getting paid, which I understand. You want to get paid, but if you're rebuilding your own shit, sometimes you gotta maybe make a sacrifice here and there. Now, it didn't. Which I don't know the full details, but I know that was part of the problem. They were having trouble getting shit from one side of the island to the other. And a lot of the aid that was sent there sat for a very long time. Has nothing to do with whether or not they were getting the aid. It just didn't move. You know how when disasters happen, sometimes the local population rallies and they accept help from outside, but they also rally themselves and work to help everybody else. And it wasn't the same as it happened. It didn't happen the same way in Puerto Rico for some reason. It's like the mayor's just like, oh, you're not helping us. Well, what are you doing to help yourself? Why doesn't the governor order the Teamsters who went on strike say, look, hey, we're not having this shit. We got shit to do. Let's fix this. Then we'll worry about your strike. It didn't happen that way. Anyway. Oh, critical thinking as a cop. Never forget that the Trump administration lied about how many people died in Maria. Being in a hospital every day for weeks, talking to nurses and doctors and Puerto Ricans, I learned the extent of that lie. Puerto Ricans are Americans. Yes, they are. This is, oh my God. How about if we, instead of thinking about how we can bash the fash, how about, I got an idea. All you people who are so concerned about Puerto Rico and how bad how bad the Trump administration is, how about you just take your ass over there and pick up some rocks and nails and pound some nails and help carry some rubble out of some bad places instead of showing how much virtue you have. You're so virtuous. Hi, Johnny Blaze. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I just, I don't care about you're so good and Orange Man is bad. We get it. Now, go get a wheelbarrow and move some rocks and shut the fuck up. Moving on. We'll be hearing about Puerto Rico today. Tuesday thoughts. We'll do one. Hope that by Friday we'll be at the end of all the Ricky Gervais think pieces. Yes, that would be good. Liberty Nation. I'm not interested in hearing the curly-haired girl right now. Let's see. I want a good Thursday thought. Not thought, but thought. Oh. Aunt Krabby calls bullshit. Dear Aunt Krabby, Speaker Pelosi and Adam Schiff should immediately move to subpoena Bolton to testify in front of the House Intel Committee and all his book drafts from him and his publisher. Where's our buddy Lev Parnas? Oh, that's right. He's singing to the FBI. Fuck Trump. Well, that's quite the Tuesday thought. Thank you, Aunt Krabby. TDS. Gettleman, Dave Gettleman, NFL trending. Dave Gettleman. Just a reminder that it's not too late to admit you made a mistake in retaining Dave Gettleman. Jason Garrett interview with the Giant. Dave Gettleman. First, can you show me how to use a computer? Jason Garrett. Okay, that's football. I won't go any farther than that one. Tuesday motivation, we'll skip that. I got to see what Alyssa Milano tweets though. I can't get through my day without at least one Alyssa Milano tweet. Is it in here anywhere? I don't see Alyssa Milano. Oh, there are multiple reasons why President Trump did not notify Congress ahead of the time of an airstrike on Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. But here are two big reasons. They simply cannot be trusted. Yeah, I have an idea that that is part of the reason why he didn't notify Congress, because they're leaked like a motherfucker. Okay, that's a game. Whatever. I don't see Alyssa Milano's tweet. Oh, this kangaroo hugs the volunteer who saved her life. No beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart. That's a great Tuesday motivation. Okay, moving on. Bonnaroo, what? Oh, so this is the Bonnaroo 2020 lineup is... Bonnaroo's a music festival somewhere. I don't know where. In Georgia, maybe? I think it's in Georgia. Your 2020 lineup, and this doesn't even include the campground plazas. Tenacious D. Wow. that's a Jack Black's little duo. That they're funny. Yeah, there's a whole lot of names on here I've never heard of. Lana Del Rey, I've heard of her. Young Thug, yes. I thought I saw Lizzo on here somewhere. Anyway, I don't care about any of that shit. Okay, Red Sox are trending. Apparently, Alex Cora is signing either... Let's see. MLB sign stealing controversy broadens. Oh, sources say the Red Sox used video replay room illegally in 2018. They were stealing signs. Oh, damn. And the Red Sox hired 2017 Astros bench coach. Whatever. Anyway, too early for baseball. Mara, don't know, don't care. Something that's got to be drama. Tuesday morning, we missed it. McDaniels, Tom Brady, and Josh McDaniels. If leaving New England is in the cards for Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels, the Cleveland Browns would give them their best. I'm not going to even finish the sentence. Nikki Haley's trending. Somebody all pissed off about Nikki Haley. Oh, Nikki Haley, as all the Democrats pissed off, because she had an interview where she said the only ones mourning for Soleimani are Democrats. Okay, right? Is that a shocker? The only ones mourning for Soleimani are Democrat leadership and Democrat presidential candidates. She had an interview on Fox News. You can find that yourself. I just think it's funny. She's got a lot of people pissed off because of that. She's trending because of that. John Hines, that's NHL. Rascal Flatts is trending because they're announcing a farewell tour. Oh, if you're a Rascal Flatts fan, country music fan, you know what? Rascal Flatts, the only thing I know about Rascal Flatts is they did a remake of that song, Life is a Highway. Life is a highway. I'm gonna ride it all night long. All right. Tepper, football, country grammar. The nostalgia kick with Nelly's appearance on the Bonnaroo lineup. So apparently Nelly's going to be in that Bonnaroo festival, and then Zora Neale Hurston is the last one on here. Happy birthday, Zora Neale Hurston. January 7th, 1891 to January 28th, 1960. Hurston was an author, anthropologist, and filmmaker, a central figure of the Harlem Renaissance. She examined Black American and Caribbean folklore and how folklore contributed to race, identity, and politics. She's pretty... She did a novel, Their Eyes Were Watching God. If you're into African American culture, she is a prominent author and historian from during the civil rights era, I would say. So she would have. This would have been her. Well, I don't know. It's her birthday today, and people are celebrating that. All right, let's see. What was the question? I saw a question on here. I'm going to hit this. Okay, that's it for Twitter trends today. What was the question here? PDawg Diet, did you hear the Navy is about to lose half of its servicemen? I did not hear that. Let's see. Our largest naval base is in Norfolk, not far from Virginia Beach. Lots of our military reside in Virginia, my husband being one of them. No, I have not heard that. Is that something? Let's see. Is that in the news? Oh, by the way, I'm going to remind you that I am going to start using hashtag. By the way, if you happen to be part of the Monkey in the Morning Ass Crack team, please do not @ me on your submissions for the Ass Crack Hall of Fame. I can just look at the MITAM hashtag. For some reason, when you @ somebody, sometimes your wife wonders, why are all these beautiful pictures of Oriental scantily clad women showing up on your with your name on it? Okay, so please don't @ me when you're doing. Becca, I'm talking to you, dear. But I do enjoy your taste in the female form is impeccable. But you know what I'm saying. But I do have a hashtag. If you ever want to do news, it's going to be PDK News, as in PDawg Night News. That makes more sense, and it's easier for me to remember. PDK News, or it turns out to be PD News, like he knew something that he should have news. But it works, and it's short, and it's sweet, and it's easy to remember. So please. Please. Not just Becca, though. Actually, Becca doesn't do it that often, but Evil One. If you happen to run into Evil One, I'll remind Evil One myself. But Evil One has been tagging me on all the Ass Crack submissions. And I'm always like, why are all these? What's up with this? Okay, not I'm just laughing at it. It's like, oh yeah, that's because of Monkey in the Morning. Oh no, maybe that wasn't you, Becca. Maybe it was strictly Evil One. Evil One adds like 7 different people, and he puts the MITAM on. So whatever. It's funny actually. I'm not really mad about it, but you can use the hashtag though. PDK News. If you have stories you want to for me to see, I'm gonna start. I've been searching I've been searching Twitter to find a hashtag that nobody else is really using, and then I'm like, oh, PDK News, not a single hit. So PDK News, not PDawg Sports. PDK stands for PDawg Night News. How simple is that? It's beautiful. And I'm gonna do it again. It's hashtag PDK News. It's easy to remember. It's short. It's sweet. It's hot. Give me some. All right. So if you ever have stories that you'd like to do, and then also maybe I will do that Discord thing one of these days. I just have to figure out how that works and how you set it up and whatnot. But for people like Gunfox, who no longer is allowed on Twitter, Gunfox, I having conversations with someone in the chat is tough when you're doing it verbally. But is your IP completely banned, or can you make up a fake account on a phone or something like that and get away with it? Or is it strictly you got super yeeted where they take away your entire IP? I don't know. That's a good question. Hi, Irate Prostate. Oh, go watch the interview too. I mentioned this yesterday. Irate Prostate and I had a nice chat on Sunday for about 2 hours. I learned a lot about myself just from the great questions that he asked, and so make sure you go check out that video on Irate Prostate's channel too. Marsupial Gamer, let me think about that. My brain has to wrap myself around it first. The one thing about the Discord server, I see so many people get in trouble because they lose control of their servers. So I just got to learn. I got to do a little more personal research because I don't know how well I would be able to maintain it. But if I have people who want to be mods on Discord, then yeah, maybe I would do that because then other people can help me maintain it. But I have so many, my fingers in so many fires right now. I don't know that I could maintain it well. You're by P-Man too, Richo? Oh my gosh. That means they really don't want you on there. You can't even use a phone or something. Anyway, I'm not gonna. We'll figure that out later. Anyway, folks, I gotta make it I gotta call it a day. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you so much. Just a reminder on the way out, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you click that like button, or Duck Dog, you know what you got to do. And if you haven't done so, please share the stream. Even if it's over, please retweet the tweet that I put out as the notification. If you're here and you're not subscribed, you got to get subscribed and click the bell, because then you'll get at least notification 60% of the time with YouTube. But otherwise, if you're on Twitter, make sure you follow me at PDawg Night. And if you ever want to do donations or super chats, we do that in the Streamlabs link, which shows up in the chat every once in a while, and it's in the description down below. Remember, I have special alerts. In fact, we got to use one of those special alerts today. Thank you again to Craven Moorhead for the $3.57 in the super chats today. Check the list down below. See if something catches your eye. If there's something you're like, because if I look down my list, okay, here's my list. I got the Disco Dad. I got the Boomer Mom doing a little cha-cha. I got Shaq Daddy, Barkley, Epstein's prison guard, Snoop, Jack Cochran's girlfriend. If you know Jack Cochran, you got an idea what that might be. The Carlton, a twerking mamacita, Chippendale Chris Farley, Shake Weights, a better Shake Weight, Darling Nicki, definitely a PAWG. Oh, I have Shake Weight, better Shake Weight. I have the best Shake Weight. And there's one that if you can make PDawg learn to appreciate K-pop. Unfortunately, I do not have horsecock. No horsecock on my channel. I'm sorry. That is proprietary to Sinatra Says. I will not step on his toes by using horsecock on my show. But I digress. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I need to go. My name is PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is PDawg Night, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Night, and I'm out of here.